that time of day again. Right? I think we all know what it is, just in general, and then specifically, I assume you know how to read. It's a fucking back and bicep workout. Yeah, I actually did some shit today, man. I was awake at 6. Wouldn't you believe it? I'm gonna have to start getting up at a normal hour because I've got an 8:30. Once I get back to school, I'm gonna have to be fucking awake for. Not insanely excited, but whatever. I ordered an electric bike. I'm fucking hyped up about that. Cause I get so jealous when I'm biking to class. Cause my apartment, it's down like at my school. All the classes are like on the top of a hill, pretty much. You know, topographically speaking. So my apartment's down low. I gotta go uphill. And when I'm fucking pedaling in the rain, in the snow, fucking huffing and puffing. I already did my cardio in the morning, so now I'm doing extra that. I mean, it's not bad for me, of course, but I would probably prefer not to do it. And then I look to my left and I see somebody zip across, or, go twice my speed on an electric scooter. Uh, Maybe I'm just an asshole, but I always get fucking jealous. So, plan for, well, let's just break down the whole day. Give you a little bit of insight. I had to do some calls and set up all my utilities and shit. I got faster internet than the last year. I was having fucking trouble. Not only with like uploading some of these videos when I was at home, but also like getting on Zoom calls and shit. It was always fucking with me. I think it'll be good this time. So after I finish that and change my oil, well, I didn't do it. I fucking had somebody else do it. I took a fat nap on the couch. So currently being fueled by a Sheetz spicy chicken. What I now, well, I don't know if it is a half gallon, but 8 cups of the chocolate milk, uh, some cinnamon toast crunch. That's not the normal diet per se, but I guess I have been kind of trending that. I mean, really, just whatever the fuck I eat is just whatever fits my dieting style. Before I lift, I want to get a fucking solid amount of carbs in, decent amount of protein, and then, normal amount of fats. I would say fats and proteins I pretty much just eat throughout the day, at an even rate. And like it doesn't matter how many you've had before or after the workout. But the carbs, this is the reason why I don't like working out early in the morning. Maybe with just like one meal. And honestly, if you just eat like a banana or something before you go lift, you're not really benefiting from those carbs. Like, sure, you might get a little bit of energy just instantaneously from them, but you are nowhere near like full of carbs. So I want to get at least 2, 3 solid meals, or like probably 300-400 grams of carbs pre-lift. You know, Solid amount of water, and then plus the like a liter of water with the pre. I always get a fucking freaky pump. So plan for back. I don't know. I'll see what feels good. I'll see what looks like is gonna give me a good pump. I'm kind of feeling like I'll do a bit of a lat bias today. I couldn't tell you the exact reason why. It's just something bubbling up within me. I want to kind of just spam the lats. So maybe I'll do a lot of, rather than a lot of rowing, I'll probably be a little bit more biased for some pull downs and pullovers. And then biceps, I'll make it a little bit more complicated this time, and I won't just spam underhand grip pull downs for biceps. But I will throw those in. I was not kidding about how I liked the way that those felt. I got a couple of comments that were talking about how I should like curl towards my head when I was doing those underhand grip pull downs, right? Mike Mentzer style. He was trying to do those and it really bias his biceps. It's not. I don't think that he meant to do like just a curl while you're doing the pull down. It's we'll talk about it later. It's a little bit tricky, but no matter what the fuck I do, after 11 hard sets for back and then buys, I know for a fucking fact I'm gonna at least be decently pumped. And you know, assuming getting a good night's rest and eating a lot of food, it was well, okay. So pretty much what I'm trying to say right now is I can almost guarantee I'm always gonna get a decent pump. I can guarantee that. Every lift I can get a decent pump. Now some days it's better than others for just random ass reasons. You know, maybe I did a certain set of exercises that just happened to feel perfect that day. But you know, if I get a pump that's not necessarily, you know, my best ever, I'm still satisfied, just because I know that I still got a good lift under my belt. So let's just get in there and start whatever I want to start back with. You will see in about one fucking second. Reasonably simple start. Just throw a plate on the full stack. They don't have an actual lat pull down here. I was just talking to like one of the managers. They said that they're gonna get kind of a little bit of a budget boost for next year. There'll be all sorts of new shit here, which kind of sucks. It's in the future, but you know, only good things to come. But I already warmed up. All it was half the stack, a couple of rows on each side, or pull downs, and then a little more, a little more. So now I feel ready for this, you know, stacking a plate. I'm gonna sit here for a while, one arm at a time, reasonably controlled, try to get a good stretch. One thing I'm really trying to think about is like opening up my shoulder blade at the top, right? Because look, right here, I'm not even like bending my arm, but it's got like this much movement just from scapular retraction. You like that? But you know, whatever. Main idea, feel the burn, get fucking pumped up. Oh.
You cross out all your guys' behaviors. I know. No, it's fun. You guys should have done that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Whoa. Let's move on to something else. So I'm not like the world's biggest dumbbell row fan, but they're all right. All right enough for me to want to do a set right now. So I think the hundreds should be pretty good. Reasonably slow. I will say this, you know, I'm not like a fucking form maestro, obviously, but I do kind of try to go a little bit slow and controlled with the dumbbell rows, just because if you just throw it up and down, I just don't really feel a lot of fatigue. Like, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll do sets of incline bench where I'm just going fucking up and down as quick as possible, but that fatigues the fuck out of my chest, gives me a crazy pump. But with the dumbbell rows, I do like going a little bit slower and really squeezing at the top, you know, or at least, you know, slow for my standards. Okay. Let's move on to something else. Again, I'm not sure what. And 2 sets of these kind of pull downs will be good. I wish I was shorter because this machine is, I can't get a complete stretch at the top. Okay, I guess I don't wish I was shorter. I wish this machine was taller. I'll just do one and done with that. It felt good, but not more than 1 set good. As a finisher, I'm thinking just 2 sets of like decently heavy single arm pullovers. Now, even though I'm gonna be doing these reps pretty quick, I'm still fucking feeling my lats just fucking burn throughout the motion. Obviously less so in the extended position, but when I get down here to the flex position, like ideally I want it to feel like it's on fire every time. And again, I can't really reach mechanical failure on a movement like this, just because you can always do a few extra little partials. And I usually let my forearm break down a little bit so that I can get some extra oomph at the end. So with these, I'm pretty much trying to tell myself, okay, go as hard as you can. All right, and then at some point I hit a level where I'm like, okay, that was good. So 2 of these, and then move on to some biceps. Time for curls. So biceps have definitely gotten a little bit of work inadvertently from back. So I'm going to start the dumbbell curls a little lighter than normal. So let's grab I warmed up with the 40s and the 60s. Like a set with the 70s, 10 reps should be starting to feel hard. Now I'm not going to limit myself at 10 right now, obviously, but I'm going to try to get as many as possible. But once you've kind of lifted for long enough, you can pretty much gauge your strength off of your warm-up sets. So even though it's a little weaker than normal, who gives a fuck? I'm still going to go hard. Okay. Let's go a little lighter for the next one. Let's drop down to the 60s. Oh, okay. Let's do let's do something. I'm not sure. It depends if this guy's on his last set or not. I'm thinking 2 sets of preachers with the 50. I don't really care for, well, actually, I don't mind it, but I typically prefer dumbbell preacher curls because I kind of like the feeling. I mean, think about this. If you're doing an easy bar curl, your hands have to be like perpendicular to your body. But when I do these single arm, I can kind of sit side saddle, face away, and I don't know, while I'm doing the curl, this feels a little bit better than this. Well, it feels different, and I just prefer it like this for now. But who knows, maybe a couple of months from now, or even weeks, I'll fucking hate dumbbell preacher curls, and I'll want to do easy bar. So, you know, I kind of go through phases of different exercises that I like and don't like. But at the end of the day, they all just hit whatever muscle you're targeting a little differently. And sometimes you might like it, and sometimes you might not. So it's up to you to kind of pick and choose what's gonna, well, for one thing, feel the best so that you can train consistently and actually enjoy what you're doing, as well as what's gonna be fucking good for your muscles and your goals. But enough chit chat. Let's just throw this shit around. Again, starting with the weaker side first and matching the reps. Ah, fuck. A little bit dirty at the end. Okay, that's enough. Let's move on to something else. With these, nothing funky complicated. I do tend to be a little bit stricter with cable curls than I do with dumbbells because it's just not like the fact that this weight is on like a pulley system. The force is much more constant, so you don't really get much benefit from swinging, right? Like if I were to try to go maybe a couple of, you know, pegs heavier on the weight stack for a set of these curls, I don't think I'd really get much out of it. You know, with these, this is more of a lighter controlled set. So rather than like those initial dumbbell curls where I'm trying to move as much fucking weight as I possibly can, with these I'm trying to go a little bit more conservative as it were, and really just get a fucking burning sensation. So actually I'll go even a little bit lighter than this. So this will be what, 37 pounds? You know, whatever the fuck that means on a cable stack. And I'll just try to do as many as possible with probably a moderate form. Any form junkies, I'm sure you'll like this set. That felt okay. I'm gonna move on to a machine. So instead of trying to do the bicep biased underhand pull downs in the beginning of the lift, today I'm gonna try to do it more towards the end once I've already, you know, gotten some pretty solid work done on the biceps already, instead of, you know, jumping straight into it So this is about, I mean, it's like both of these stacks on each arm, but I mean, who knows how fucking heavy that really is? You know, unless it's an actual pull down stack or there's no pulleys. Like if you pull the weight down 1 foot, the stack goes up a foot. Like that's the only time the weight is actually fucking. You get what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna sit here underhand and really try to focus on pulling the weight down with my biceps rather than my lats. You know, once I get a couple of, once I get kind of deep into the set, my lats may start to help a little bit, but the primary mover is going to be the biceps. Let's go sit on the curl machine and discuss. So with those pull downs, they're kind of tricky. Like, it really reminds me of using the dip machine to my left because, the action of that movement is such that it would not be hard for you to let your pecs take over and, use both your chest and your triceps. But by way of, let's just call it muscular control, you keep your pecs out of it and you just focus on squeezing your triceps to move down those dip handles. Same logic applies with those underhanded pull downs. So, after I do, 10-ish reps, I definitely start to feel my lats engage, but nowhere near an actual working set, right? It's mainly just fucking biceps. And when I'm doing it, I might say I feel it the most up in this outer section, kind of close to the shoulder. So definitely add it to the fucking pump and do 2 sets of this seated curl, and then we can go check it out. One more. Okay. Okay. Biceps are fucking done. Let's go check the pump. Okay, so I can check I can see the timestamps of when I do my sets. So I looked, and that first set of rows started at about 4:40, about 4:41, and then that last set of curls was at 6:07. So what does that add up to? About an hour and 27 minutes? That's about fucking right, For the most part, for me, with my amount of volume being, about 11 sets, sometimes I call it a little bit earlier if I feel like, I'm just done. Like, let's say I felt like I was at my peak pump after, I don't know, maybe 6 sets of biceps. And I felt like I did some hard ass sets. I could just be fucking done there. But for the most part, I usually go to 11. So that ends up being about 45 minutes per muscle group. So, my arm day, sometimes it's a little quicker. Arms are, well, when I do an arm day, it only ends up being maybe, sometimes even an hour. Just because, the rest periods between sets of push downs and curls, it's just not that much. Like compared to a leg day, Legs could push too, sometimes. And it's not because the sets take any longer, it's the rest times would take a little bit longer, if you catch my drift. So let's see what we're working with bicep pump wise. Yeah. I can almost touch the shoulder. So I'm definitely pumped, but I've been more pumped than this. I've had better bicep pumps than this one today. But still, definitely a good lift. Just sometimes the pump is a little bit more stingy. Woo. All right, let's do the same fucking shit, but backwards. Certainly simple pumps, simple poses for back and bis. Just a front and rear lat spread. But that was a good ass freaking lift. You know, I didn't do anything crazy set wise. You know, I didn't like throw 365 around on the bent over rows or anything. But still, fucking back pumped, bis pumped, and I feel an amount of fatigue that I'm satisfied with. I'm gonna go home and make. Oh, what the? I'm in a fucking weird habit of not making the cluster dextrin shake. Jesus. Well, when I get home, I'll shake that shit up. 2 scoops of the ISO chocolate whey, plus 100 grams of cluster dextrin. That always does me pretty good. So that's all I got. Let's fucking roll. There. Let's go. I really don't have any fucking topics to get into. I tell you what, I am kind of excited to move back in purely due to the fact that I left my seated bike at home or at the apartment over the summer. Because I'm moving back into the same one that I was in last year, and I could like pay a little storage fee and leave my bed and shit, so I don't have to bring so much stuff back and forth. But I left the seated bike. I tell you what, that's a game changer on the days where I'm a little bit busier in the morning, because you know, actually driving to the gym, unless it's right outside your fucking house, to do your 30 minutes of cardio, and depending on like the traffic and just the process of having to get into the car, drive to the gym, actually walk in, get set up, put your shit down, do the cardio, which only takes 30 minutes. Well, you know, what should only take 30 minutes, plus that whole process of driving there and driving back. I mean, depending on how secluded you are from the gym, that could turn into an hour and 15-minute process total. So, if you're serious enough about lifting, I would drop a couple of bucks on just a little home exercise bike. It's just kind of a nice way to fucking wake up too, in the sense of, you know, it's a little bit easier for me to be productive in the morning. Because what'll happen is, you know, in the summertime when I've got a lot of extra time on my hands, well, I guess not so much when I was working earlier in the summer, but you know, now this last week or two, um, it's pretty easy for me to just fucking stay in bed, keep on sleeping, and like not even fucking roll. Like I could wake up at 8 and then be kind of fucking just half asleep, whatever. Okay, I'll get up, and it's like 9:30 or 10, and that's on a good day. I don't even. Oh man, I fucking woke up at 3 earlier. Not good. It's probably even in your best interest to maintain a reasonable circadian rhythm. You know, fucking go to sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time every day. But when I've got the cardio machine right there at home, when my sleep schedule is really on it, I'm like a fucking machine. You know, my alarm goes off, I just fucking jump awake, slam now a pure hostile caffeine capsule, because you know I'm not really not like a coffee fan, but in the morning I definitely like some caffeine. And pre-cardio, um, I think I remember reading it's like better for lipolysis, right? So like fat burning. So whether or not I mean, whatever. I do like having some caffeine for the cardio. Plus, caffeine in the morning, I definitely enjoy it. So, pretty much, once I get back to school, my routine is going to be, wake up in the morning. Usually, I'll actually kind of prep a little cup of some shit beforehand. Like, I'll have an electrolyte drink right when I wake up, like a liter or so. Just slam that. Take a, well, I don't, I, sometimes I think taking the caffeine capsule kind of delays the effect because then you have to like not only are you have to like well not only does caffeine just take a second to kick in, then you've got to digest the that little what's the fucking capsule made of, like cellulose. You get the idea. It's caffeine powder inside of this little water soluble capsule. So usually what I end up doing is when I mix up the electrolyte drink, I'll just pour the caffeine into it and mix it up, just so I don't, just because that it feels better for me. I don't know. That could just be like placebo. And then jump down, 30 minutes of just playing on my phone, and then I'm ready to fucking do whatever. It's gonna be, class and shit, but it's definitely, it's definitely good. I tell you one thing though, that's a solid amount of time to just watch a show or something. I've been, I wouldn't say like super busy, but during the school, when I actually have to fucking study after class and stuff, and I've got actual shit to do, it's not so easy to balance that with watching a bunch of shows or whatever. And I'm not a monk, I love consuming some media. So 30 minutes in the morning, fuck man, that's 2 episodes of um, what's good right now. I don't know. Is Jujutsu Kaisen good? I watched a little bit of it. I don't know. It's kind of, I think it might be overhyped. But whatever the fuck you're into, man. 30 minutes. If you put a show on you like, that 30 minutes of seated bike cardio will go by like that. It requires literally zero thought to just sit there and pedal for 30 minutes. And I tell you what, the results are going to be noticeable if you haven't been doing your cardio. I guess if you do it every so often, then you start doing it daily. I mean, you may notice a little something, something. But I can say with certainty, if I did not do my daily cardio for this whole bulk, I would probably be at a much higher body fat percentage, maybe the same amount of muscle on my frame, but I think 30 minutes a day is going to end up being well worth it for that lower body fat percentage because I'm burning more energy during the day, right? So I'm a leaner machine. Plus, during my training, I'm going to get less winded because I'll have better cardio. I'm definitely not like a runner or anything like that. I'm still prone to getting out of breath. But it would take me, I don't really know how much longer, but considerably longer to, catch my breath after a seriously hard set. I'm not perfect either. I was slacking on my cardio um, last bulk, so the bulk before this one, and I could definitely tell. So I would bike to class, right? I had my fucking bike before I left it unlocked and got it stolen like a fool. But when I am doing my cardio on a consistent basis versus that period when I wasn't, because my sleep schedule was so bad, I was kind of trying to prioritize sleep, really just from being lazy. But biking uphill to fucking get to class in the morning, dude, I would be fucking dying. Especially when the air was thin and cold during the winter. Like I would fucking almost without fail, I would pull up to my thermo class, fucking sweaty and out of breath, because I'm not like right next to class. I've got a little ways to go. So hey man, good cardio. Let's say somebody fucking steals your shit and starts running away, man. If your cardio is good enough, you could probably catch them, right? It's got real world applications. So apart from that, I mean, let's get back into the lift today. Back thrash, buys wrecked. Now it's time for me to go home and get some fucking food. I gotta fucking fold all my laundry again. I'm back behind on that, so I definitely don't want to bring unfolded laundry to school with me. Then I'm just bringing a fucking chore. Ugh. So I'm gonna get some food, and then get some more food, and probably a bit more. Take my vitamins, go to bed, get some cardio going in the morning. So freaking see you tomorrow for triceps and hamstrings.